Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/ProRevenge. Let's begin our video in which our OP carried out his revenge with the help of seagulls. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Little revenge never felt more satisfying. This revenge happened a few years ago, but I was reminded of it today and thought I'd share it with you wonderful people. I was in my very early 20s and working at a retail store and used to take my breaks away from the store for multiple reasons. On this day, I decided to eat at the lake, which is 100% public property throughout the park. I bought a wrap from a nearby store and drove to the lake. I sat down at the picnic tables that were nearby a French fry truck. While I was eating my wrap, some a-hole seagull got very bold and dive-bombed my wrap while it was sitting in front of me on the table. As this made a mess, I went and asked the chip truck guy if he had a couple napkins, and he exclaimed that they were for chip truck customers only. I explained that I am a customer, just not today, and that his attitude will only make me not ever want to eat there in the future. He gave me a stupid look and didn't say anything, so I went back to the table and cleaned up the mess the best I could. As I was walking back to my car, I went to place the garbage in the bin near his chip truck. He literally came out of the truck and yelled at me, saying the garbage can is for customers only, and the picnic tables, public property, were also for his customers only. Now, there must have been 25 seagulls lurking around me in hopes of getting their beak wet with my tasty wrap, so I went back to the picnic tables, which he claimed were his, and threw the remnants of my wrap up in the air, so that crap went everywhere. The seagulls went crazy, and him and his little sea of a girlfriend came running out of the truck following me as I walked to my car and took pictures of my license plate. At this point, I thought my revenge was over, and I was pleased with the result as I'm sure I had inconvenienced them more than they had me. But 2 days later, a cop shows up at my door saying they received a complaint that I was vandalizing public property. I explained to the cop what happened, and he told me that I shouldn't have done what I did, but that the chip truck is not allowed to claim public property as their own, and the next time I went to the lake, there was no more chip truck. Sweet. I was half hoping you'd toss the remnants directly in front of the truck and started a seagull siege. And our second story. Don't you love kids thinking they are the king because they turned 18? I work in a large supermarket 24/7. I'm also in Britain, so our licensing laws are a bit different. I was working the kiosk, cigarettes, lottery, scratch cards, and general inquiries and returns on an 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. shift, and generally a quiet one where, on a regular night, cigarette buyers come in. Now, our store has a policy, which is new, that if we have reason to believe the person purchasing cigarettes or alcohol is buying for another, we can refuse sale if we can't ID a whole group. If you're buying alcohol with friends, don't bring them inside unless you're prepared to all be ID'd. The store's policy is in many supermarkets. I'm 20, so most people my age I flag automatic. I know it happens, but I won't lose my job for it. A group of boys under 25 come in, fair enough, do some shopping as they pay. I see them all conferring as one breaks off and comes to the kiosk. Let's call him PB. Poor baby. PB, will you serve me? Me. Do you have identification? You look under 25. Not sure if that's a good or bad thing. I tried to make a joke. PB handed over his ID, checked out fine, but I'm still suspicious of the boys still glancing over a lot. Also, he only turned 18 a day ago. Me. Okay, that works out. What do you need? PB. 10 cigarettes of a popular brand for younger people because it's relatively cheap. So I take the cigarettes and put them through. I see him and his friends making eye contact and signaling. PB. Actually, can I get some rolling tobacco? Oh, and papers too. Okay, now the warning lights are flashing. Security girl's glancing at me like, yeah, crap's gonna go down, I know face. Me. Sorry, I can't. You're in a large group. I know you're all together, but I would need to ID you all. Buying 2 different tobacco products and buying separately gives me reason to believe it's for someone else. So crap hits the fan. Boy starts raging at how this is apparently against the law and his human rights, how he just turned 18 but still got served this stuff at other stores. Well, sorry, a-hole, I'm not losing my job for your underage mates. Who he was lovely enough to drop in a hole by admitting they were both underage. Eventually, after me, security and a manager all explained the same policy. They won't give up and refuse to leave the property. I'm currently trying to avoid talking to them as I'm already shaking and feeling too anxious to think straight from just refusing them. Luckily, they cross the line, start swearing and cursing our manager, who eventually tells them the police are coming to remove them from the store, bans them, and cancels any way he's getting his cigarettes. I think it's nice that stupid people don't get what they want. The cashier usually doesn't actually care, but if you do something blatantly against the rules, they have to respond or they'll get in trouble. And our next story. Gas company billing issue. Sure. This happened about 6 years ago when I moved in with my partner at the time. Our realtor managing the property gave us the form and we filled it in. There was a section that asked about us requesting all utilities being connected on our behalf: gas, power, phone, internet. I ticked the no box because I wanted to choose our own suppliers. We moved in, power was on, gas was on, no internet yet, but that'd take days or weeks. But I then realized I never called the gas and power company. Crap, I forgot. Though when I rang them and gave them my details, they said it's all confirmed and connected already. What a coincidence that the utilities the realtor connected us with was the same company I was going to sign up with. 9 months go by. One day I come home and there's no gas. Power's fine. I call the company. You haven't paid your bills. Now, let me rewind for a moment. Ever since moving in, they never sent us a bill. I requested to receive them via email. Never got one. I checked my spam. But each quarter, our utilities get billed quarterly. I'd get a bill in my letterbox addressed to the previous tenant. I'd mark the envelope RTS, no such name, and each quarter I'd ring the gas company to tell them, got another bill addressed to previous tenant. They responded with, okay, let's fix that. Anyway, back to the present day of the story. I'm on the phone trying to explain the gas disconnection issue, explaining that we haven't paid our bill because we never got one, and so on. They look at my account and then ask me to confirm my name. Once again, the previous tenant's name appears. I explained to them that I've sent every bill back to them and called each time to resolve this. They deny it all. Never heard from me, no records. So I asked them, is the gas disconnected now? They say yes. I say great. I'd like my gas at this address to be connected under a new customer name, please, because it appears to still be under the previous tenant. They tell me I can't do that. They tell me I'm the previous tenant, so I ask them to confirm my identification. I give them my name. They have zero info about me. I tell them I'm hanging up now. You can call me on the number in your system for this account to confirm things. But go easy on the person who answers because they haven't lived here in 9 months. I hang up, ring back immediately, talk to sales, sign up a new account, gas connected the following day, got 9 months free gas because no one at the gas company would listen to me. And our last story. Stepmom wants me to buy a house for her and her grown-up children. So last year, before my father passed away, he was concerned about his wife and her having to pay the house payment. He asked if I'd be willing to purchase the house for what was owed and allow her to live there until she passed. I guess at this point is a good time to note that I make a decent amount of money, relatively, which is why they considered asking me. I agreed that I would purchase the house and allow her to live there. This included me paying for the home, insurance, taxes, maintenance, etc. I didn't really want to focus on that at the moment with my father passing. It didn't seem like a monumental issue. Their mortgage was relatively small, and with her living there, the maintenance should be low as far as wear and tear items. After my father passes, she tells me she can't decide whether she wants to sell the house and move or keep it and I buy it. I informed her that she needed to figure it out because her indecisiveness could end up costing me a lot of money in capital gains taxes if I bought it at payoff, and then a few months later, she thought she wanted to move and I was not willing to eat those costs. She acted irritated and said that I didn't understand what it's like to lose someone like that. You know, like it wasn't my father. I gave her a joint account that my father and I had totaling around $27K. I figured it was easiest to DeFi that, so I didn't have to hear about me cheating her by keeping whatever may have been in it. She also sold some of my father's tools that were left to me, the only things he had. Finally decides she wants to stay, but tells me that we need to talk because there are going to be some rules. Her daughter, 27, and the daughter's husband move in, 30, and have agreed to pay the cable. Their package is almost $200 a month, internet, and power. They borrow her car but don't take care of it, so it's broken down. Being their dog that isn't housebroken and chews up stuff when unattended, I told my stepmother that I was not going to support the married couple living in the home. If they wanted to live there, they'd need to pay rent as they add a lot of additional wear and tear to the property. Stepmom claimed this is unfair. I told her that was fine and they could move out on their own then. She got mad, telling me how I'm being unfair and they shouldn't have to move out. I told her I was rescinding my offer to purchase in that case because I'm not supporting a married couple who doesn't even help clean or maintain the property while I pay for all of it. I explained that if I purchased the house and allowed them to live there for free until she passed, years and years from now, that they would expect to continue to live there for free, and I would be forced to evict them, only to receive a trashed house that I would have to pay again to bring back into shape just to make it marketable. Naturally, at this point, I'm a terrible person. They tell me that they can't afford the mortgage, even though they have multiple monthly services that are luxuries and total up over $500 a month. I took the time to explain they could cut the expenses and afford the home with no problem. She told me she wasn't going to live without them and that she would pay for that because she paid for the mortgage. Now they just trash talk me to other people about how I'm greedy and unfair. So I rescinded my offer and refused to purchase the home and simply don't speak to them anymore. Good luck with buying a house. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.